Oh my gosh. It's happening via Zoom. Henry Steffes. You don't have the glasses on. That's throwing me off.
Yeah.
But, I guess we've got it on your sign. We've got it on my sign. That is the thing. Henry Steffes, we're talking buying and selling homes with Henry Steffes. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing just fantastic. Or how are you?
Not bad. I mean,
Yeah.
I have ups and downs like everybody else, and I'm
Yeah.
sure I'm sure you do too. But I bet you're hoping I was just going to say I'm great, but it's all right. I'm always constantly thinking about state of affairs and how the pandemic has affected things,
Yeah.
and I guess can we start with that, Henry? I mean, how have you had to adjust your business at the Steffes Group of Keller Williams Realty Rivertown?
Yeah. So we once all of this hit, just like everybody else, we were very scared about what was happening and the climate of our business. I mean, were we going to go? Were we going to? We didn't know what to do. So we just kind of took the first week and took a big deep breath, and then really got to work. How can we best serve our clients? What can we do that's different? What can we do to make sure that people can still buy and sell homes? And there's a lot of technology out there right now that we knew about that we really didn't we didn't use a ton of it uh, pre-COVID, just because we didn't have to. We did everything in person. It was all event based. It was bringing people to homes. It was very person to person. And after that first week, when we started getting more and more listings that were going live, we used this thing called Matterport. And a Matterport is a virtual showing, essentially, where we can walk people through homes without being in the home. And then getting creative with our clauses to make sure that our clients, if they didn't see the home in person, at least had a clause in there that they had to see it in person and actually see it, feel it, and touch it, and be inside the home before they closed on it. So um, at the very beginning, when we were locked down there, we made sure that we shifted gears and kept going forward. After things loosened up a little bit, it's still making sure that we keep all the protocols and keep everybody safe. And we're implementing more and more of those technical features, and um, and we keep on rolling with everything.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That's one of the things I try to ask everybody. How has it affected things? But when I hear these things now, is what you were talking about, that technology, had that been in place, and then just everybody said, well, we would never use this. Why would we do that? Or was it created because of the pandemic?
No, a lot of it was around beforehand. We used it mainly for our out of town clients that maybe they couldn't come back to Michigan for a week or 2 weeks to look at homes. So we could send them some homes that had this technology in them, and they could essentially just get ahead of the game and kind of know what they're looking for. Instead of just flipping through a couple different pictures, they could do an actual virtual walkthrough.
Henry, if somebody's thinking about going down this road of listing their home with you, which I highly recommend, but they're not sure. Um, do you have that happen where people reach out and like one of the first words out of their mouth, some of the first words out of their mouth are like, yeah, I'm not really sure I want to do this. And is that something you experience from time to time?
Quite a bit, quite a bit. So um, talking about one of one of your listeners and one of my clients, um, they came to one of our events pre-COVID last year, and he was in the same spot. He didn't know if he wanted to list. He didn't know if he wanted to buy a new home. We walked him through the exact steps and kind of showed him what this would look like if he did buy and sell at the time. And COVID came around, and people are even more worried about listing and buying right now, which absolutely I understand.
Sure.
Um, yeah, I mean, it does happen. We have a really long conversation of pros and cons, and ultimately, if it makes sense for them, great. If it doesn't, we'll just wait.
Frequently, if I'm walking around my house, I'm like, boy, if I ever sold this house, should I should people update stuff before they sell the house, or do you say no, don't waste your time and energy because the people are probably going to change it right away? I mean, what happens most often when people are exploring that? Because I would think that that would be a problem because my house is badly in need of updates.
Sure, it really depends on price points that we're trying to hit. It really depends on the market at the time. So after everything happened, we got even further into a seller's market. When I spoke with you last year, we were experiencing a very heavy seller's market, very lack of inventory. Um, it was very hard for a buyer to find a home. Right now, it's even further into a seller's market at certain price points, of course. But updates, I mean, yeah, there's some things that we would recommend, but ultimately, if you're looking at overhauling your entire house, if you have a good solid bones to the home, you don't have to overhaul the entire thing to make
Right.
an extra $5,000.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So take me through the process because I know that one of the things you pride yourself on is when you walk through a home and these people are like, okay, we're gonna list the home with with Henry here. You're walking through the house, you're looking at things. This takes a little bit of time, not a ton of time, but it does take a little bit of time for you to walk through it, correct?
It does. So typically, I'll set up two different meetings. The first meeting is just for me to get eyes on. I mean, I'm not an AVM or like a valuation tool like Zillow. I'm a real person. I'm looking at real comps in real time, and I'm taking everything into effect. Do you have granite countertops? Do you have Formica? Do you have updated paint? Is your carpet looking good? Is your carpet maybe not in the best condition? Do you have hardwood floors? What all do you have in the home? Because all of that takes place in pricing. And then I'll go back, I'll look at everything from top to bottom and see what is sold in the last year that can be comparable to your home. And then we'll meet up and talk about our next steps. Here's what I think for our price. Here's a couple of the comps that I found. And then we just work together and come up with a system and steps in place to make sure that we have the smoothest transaction possible.
One of my listeners, Kevin, became a fan of you. He got turned on via the show, and then he reached out to you. And you were describing to me before we started this that he was a classic example of people who plug in and basically just did exactly what they were supposed to do based on your advice. Correct?
Exactly. And I was talking a little bit about him just a couple minutes ago. We met at an event. Um, Essentially, it's a home buying class that we do, and we walk through some of the steps and set up a personalized program for people right then and there on the spot and figure out their needs and their wants. So he came to our New Holland Brewery event last year and loved it. It was awesome. He got a hold of us, I think about the tail end of last year and said that he's starting to get ready. He got a hold of us again in March and he said, I want to make sure that I find my next home before, and I hear that so many times. I don't want to be homeless and I don't want to make you homeless. That's the big thing. I want to make sure that I have my next spot before I sell this home. So he was considered a contingent on the sale and close. So we found his next home. We listed his current home, got it sold over the weekend for over asking price. And he just moved in the other day.
Oh my gosh, that's great. That's music to my ears when I hear that somebody actually, that it worked out the way you and I had planned when we first got this ball rolling. So that is terrific.
Yeah.
One of the things that you love to do is a lot of these events where you might be at Sprinkles Donuts, you might be at the brewery, at New Holland Brewery. It's a little nutty now. Have you been able to do any of those events like you like to do, or have you been able to come up with another way to do those?
Yeah, so that was a fun thing. Well, fun, whatever. We were all trapped inside our house for so long. I'm such a people person that I need to connect with people. So I sought out small business owners and I started interviewing them just like this over Zoom. And I would put out videos, as many as I could. And I've got a lot of friends that are in bands, and my wife and I like to go listen to music on Friday and Saturday nights. So we had a couple different bands on. Devin and the Dead Frets. That was awesome.
I
Yeah,
love them. They are so much fun. My gosh.
it was great. So we kind of had date night in, listening to a couple different bands perform for us. And then Zach's Barbershop, we had Mike LaFleur on there. And I mean, it was great. It was fun. And it was a way to stay occupied and still promote our community while being in lockdown.
Okay, man. What do you think? I mean, we're so many months into this. In a year, your prediction, what is life going to be like for us, Henry? Please, I'd love to, because I love to pick people's brain as to what they think, and you're eternally optimistic. Your optimism and enthusiasm always, it kind of like precedes you. So where do you see this going, Henry?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of good changes that come out of this. I think that everybody wants to reconnect more than ever right now. So I see in a year from now, once everything calms down, more love being out there, more people coming out and supporting the community, more get-togethers instead of people being so inside all the time. I see a lot of community events and community gatherings, a lot more of that.
Can you talk about your website, please? Because you have listings on there right now that people can go look at, yes?
Yep, thesteffesgroup.com, thesteffesgroup.com. If you go to just Steffes Group, my name's pretty popular apparently, and there's a farm equipment company out in Iowa that you'll be directed to, so make sure that you get that "the" before it. Yeah, we've got listings on there. We keep all of our events current, things that are going on in the community. Obviously not a ton right now, but as many as we can. And anything that we personally have listed, we put up on our website. You can see some of the homes that we sold. I'm a big proponent of anonymity, so I don't use anybody's names, and I try to keep as much personal information out of it, but you can see some of the stuff that we had listed and have currently listed. You can learn a little bit more about the Steffes Group, my journey into real estate, and my team's journey into how we all met.
Okay, a little bit of background on the red rim glasses again, please. I know I've heard the story, but refresh everybody's mind behind the red rim glasses.
Yeah, so that they're not gone. Things have changed a little bit. It was Valentine's Day 2017, and I was trying to put in contacts, and I couldn't get them in. And after about an hour and a half, my wife's like, "Would you just get a pair of glasses already and be done with it?" So I got the old red rim glasses. I come out, and she's like, "Of course you would." And as a joke, I had a business card made up with this behind me, and she's like, "You can't do that. You can't." And apparently I could, and it became my logo. So about a month and a half ago, I went back in to get an eye exam to get a thicker prescription, and I was like, "Yeah, let's give it a shot again. I don't have screaming kids or a wife in the car. I got all day." And I finally got some contacts in. It's awesome.
Oh my gosh!
I can see.
So all right. So you would rather put those in your eyes than actually put the contacts in your than just throw the glasses on.
Well, right now with having to wear a mask everywhere, they fog up so easy.
Yeah.
It's just easier to have contacts right now. So.
Man, I've been struggling because I can't see anything up close, but I can see stuff far away. What is it like for you? Is that same thing?
Everything's underwater. If I don't have contacts or glasses in, everything looks like it's underwater. It's weird.
Yeah, that is weird because I had LASIK forever ago, and I've been able to see through walls forever. But then as I've now turned in my elderly years, it's things are falling apart. It's bad, Henry.
Well, hey, speaking of that, I've been following your journey too, and you are doing some amazing things right now, especially with your kidney stuff. I love you, man. You're so cool.
Thank you so much for saying that. Out of I am more worried about dumb stuff that I am something as involved as that because of the nature of how that happened. I'm telling you, man, I swear on a stack of holy Bibles, why in the world would I think of somebody who I haven't even spoken to in 32 years, who I only kind of knew in high school? I mean, it really was like that. And I just looked it up, and I see his name, and I go, "Oh, okay, I see what this person does. That's kind of cool." And then I said, "I'll look him up on Facebook." Well, while doing that, I see that years ago he sent me a friend request and I never accepted it. Okay, this all happens in 5 minutes, and I click okay. Well, I accept friend request. He sees it on his end and says, "Hey, how are you?" And I'm like, "I'm fine. How are you?" And then that's where it kind of got rolling. And then so one thing led to another. He revealed to me he's very, very sick with kidney disease, and his kidneys are completely ruined, and he's on dialysis every day. So he didn't ask me or anything. It just again, I had this brain voice in my brain saying, "Give him your kidney." So I'm like, "Oh, wow, that's weird." So then I didn't say anything to him. And he had been through this many, many times in the past, and his heart had been broken many times with people who were thinking about donating to him. And for one reason or another, it didn't work out. So I didn't say anything, but I did bring it out with my wife. I go, "So if you, would you?" And she goes, "Oh, yeah, I would do that in an instant." And so that was all I needed to hear. And so I said, "Well, I would too. Let's try." So actually, we both tried. Um, and first we told him, we go, "Hey, we thought about it a lot." And then we told him, and he was like, "What? This is crazy. I didn't see this coming at all." And I go, "Well, of course you didn't." I mean, so then, but we both tried to be donors or candidates. We both match, but I match more. So they said to Diana, "You wait in the wings. We're going to run out this ground ball with Eric." And then here we are. So it's a long process. We're not there yet, but man, if this goes down, it's going to be awesome. It
And
really will.
this is the furthest that he's gotten. That's correct?
That is absolutely correct. I just found that out the other day, and I posted that, and it's, oh boy, and that's was really something. And he's because I asked him, and he said, "Yeah, this is the farthest." So he's very cautiously optimistic through this, and so yeah, man, I light up when people bring it up. So thank you for bringing it up because I mean, I've never done anything really like this. It's
It's
I don't
huge.
know, man. It just hit me. It just hit me like that. It was a very, very godlike thing. So yeah, thank
Well,
you.
and on those lines too, I've struggled with weight my entire life, and I seen on that post that you have pre-diabetics and diabetics in your family, and that you wanted to clean your diet up. And I mean, that's huge. My weight fluctuates up and down, but seeing that really, I mean, it motivated me for the marathon, not the sprint. I was a wrestler and I did jujitsu and MMA, so I mean, my weight's always up down super fast. But that consistent making sure that my diet's healthy for the long haul, I mean, it just inspired me, man. So thank you.
Oh my God, that's music to my ears as well. I love to hear that, man, because yeah, and I'm using it. If it goes away, I hope it goes. If that kidney comes out of me, then I'm really going to be forced to watch what I eat because I got one kidney, and we don't want to have high blood pressure. We don't want diabetes. So I'm tapping into something known as the Mediterranean diet. Have you ever heard of that?
I haven't. Tell me more.
What this is it isn't so much you're eating small portions or anything like that. It's food that people eat that live in the countries around the Mediterranean Sea. So a lot of olives, a lot of Greek salads, stuff like that. But there's a terrific abundance of protein that you get from stuff that is not red meat, lentils, legumes, fish, non-red meat sources, and things like that. And yeah, you're not necessarily eating less; you're just eating better, which is going to lower my cholesterol level and lower my A1C level, which is one of the numbers they look at when it comes to diabetes. So, and it's with a lot of that olive oil and garlic, you're lowering the bad cholesterol, you're increasing the good cholesterol. So, I'm reading about it right now. I haven't eaten one bit of food from that diet, but I'm kind of getting all these things in my knowledge base so that I can start buying appropriately and then preparing the food like that. So till then, I'm just kind of like grazing around on like egg whites and salads, just so that I don't eat garbage leading up to that next step. But it's got to be a lifelong commitment. That's how
Now,
I'm looking at it.
does this change your exercise routine or your physical approach to things. I don't know what it's like to live with one kidney. Obviously, I've got two.
Yeah, absolutely. After about 6 weeks, you're walking. I would be starting to move towards the way I was exercising with running and things like that. But after the recovery period ends, there is no reason why you can't get back to exactly where you were. So that's absolutely what I plan to do. So in fact, also in the preparation for it, I'm trying to not only eat better, but I want to be really super fit so that my recovery won't be as hard. I'm like
Yeah,
working towards that. So, but I
awesome.
got a long way to go, Henry. You should see my belly. It's ridiculous how much belly fat I have, Henry. It's like I can talk with my belly.
I'm not going to do that because I could definitely talk with my belly.
Oh my God. Yeah, the audience gets a kick out of it when I do that. Maybe they don't. Maybe they just get grossed out. I think they get grossed out. Oh man. Well, I tell you what, I'm excited for you. I want people to reach out to you. The best way is by going to thesteffesgroup.com, and all the information is there about being able to reach you. And so that's great, man. I love that you continue to strive to improve your business through all of your efforts and the things that you put forth. And you got a great team with you and an amazing wife. I mean, it's really great. I'm very, very happy for you.
Well, thank you so much, Eric. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, man, it's my pleasure. I will talk to you down the road. Okay, buddy?
Take care, brother.
All right, Henry. Thank you.